Hello, hello, hello. I have no idea if the sound is even. Welcome to Words Have Power. I'm Shelly. Hopefully, you can hear me. Um, Hopefully, you cannot hear all the ambulances. What in the hell? Don't forget to switch from top chat to live chat. Hey, Mama T. Hey, Kim S. I'm doing. I'm doing 20 things at one time. Hey, James. It has been interesting. Um, okay, so y'all gonna have to bear with me for a moment. I am directly in the middle of getting ready, um, which I have been trying to get done for a while now. So there's been a lot going on, and I have news, um, very good news. That is loud. Let me turn this down. Okay. Hey, Shermer. Did I did message you, right? I swear I did. Jesus. I am effectively playing catch up with myself right now. Um, okay, computer, if you would run a little bit faster, that'd be great. Facebook. Fucking hell. All right, so. Oh, yeah. How's everyone doing? What's going on with everybody? Why is there no icon there? There should be. What the hell is going on? That's one more thing I have to look into and try to figure out what's going on. Yay! Okay, got those two things done. Yes! Hey Kato, how you doing? How's everyone doing? What's up? What's going on with y'all today? I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Know this, I am not fully ready yet. I have had a lot going on today. When I tell you the past couple of days, there's been a lot going on. A lot of good and stuff. So, yeah. So I am still doing a little bit of makeup, not a lot. Um, trying to get stuff ready. Okay. Trying to get stuff ready. Of course. Where's the thing with the thing? That is not what I was trying to do. Jesus. I'm trying to make sure that's not showing up at all. What in the hell? YouTube would be fun and relaxing, they said. Sure, Jan. Sure. Okay. Alrighty. I got that done. All right. So we have news. We have really good, amazing, wonderful, lovely family news. Which I am kind of surprised. So I'm going to use an eyeliner called Dirty Talker. And it seems kind of fitting. Can y'all still hear me? Hopefully. Hopefully the stream has not frozen or whatever. That would be great. Okay. So, have y'all ever watched or listened to a okay, good, thank you. To anything about the whole Dirty John thing? Like, there's a podcast that's really good, and the Netflix series is really good. I actually really recommend the Netflix series because here's why. The actor who played Scumbag did a really good job, to the point that I'm kind of worried, actually. Just slightly creeped out by how good he was playing in that role. You have no background and no Netflix. Damn. Okay. Well, the podcast is really good too, but the actor who played the character, or the person, this is the actual person, he did a really good job with body language, facial expressions, and several other things. So if you ever get a chance to watch that, it may not be like the type of thing you would watch, but it's really good at showing you things that are red flags from the jump with a person who is in fact toxic. Now, I mean, this guy seemed to check off all the markers for being a narcissist. And, sometimes I hesitate to say that, but just with his past history, and prior relationships to this and everything else, I think it's probably a safe bet to say he was probably a narcissist. Okay. What kind of offender was he? Oh, Lord. I mean, yes. The kind you definitely don't want your children anywhere near. That's the kind he was. So, this guy had a substance abuse problem, which was pretty serious. And his childhood background, apparently his father, like he took after his father. And he would do things and with the con artist side and all that, he picked up from his father. So what all was going on there, we'll get into later. For right now, we're going to talk about the very beginning because there's a point I want to make about in the series, the Netflix series, where Scumbag and the Goddess are dating. Okay, they're going on these dates, and if you pay attention and if you watch, while they're sitting at the table and they're talking. Now, I don't know if this is actually how the actual person behaved, but the actor showed mirroring so good. The subtlety of it. So, mirroring is when a toxic person will try to match your energy to ingratiate themselves to you. Um, and this can come off as, wow, he's so much like me, and we have so many things in common, and we're on the same wavelength, and we just get along so well. It fit like two peas in a pod. Now, you could actually get along with that person that well, right? And it could actually be that positive connection, or it could be that this person is mirroring you and you don't actually have those things in common. They're just making you think you do, or making you think that you have that same kind of energy, right? Yes, but I will be very careful about not triggering anyone. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to, inform and educate, not trigger. Okay, I have to put this down here. Maybe if I put it right here, that might work. Okay, so it's interesting to see how when he kind of drops the mirroring, all right, when on the first date, when they go back to her apartment and they were making out, she goes to the bathroom. He kind of sort of follows her without her realizing it at first, and then he lays down in her bed. Now, that is a clear and distinct invasion of privacy on a first date, I might add. When, maybe he thought they were going to be intimate, but that's just, man, I would lose my shit if anyone ever did that to me. Because your bed is your sanctuary. That's where you sleep. You're the most vulnerable, right? So he just goes in there, lays down like it's no big deal, right? It's a done deal. Because why? Because he's trying to push things to move as quickly as he possibly can. He wants the relationship to go from 0 to 100, and then from 100 to 1,000 in as few days as possible. Hold on, I have to grab my notes. Yes, I have notes. Okay. Yes, they are paper notes. All right, so if you watch the Netflix series, pay close attention to the body language and the facial expressions and all of that, because when he first walks into her home to pick her up for the date, her daughter is there. Her daughter answers the door, lets him in, all that good stuff, and she picks up on his shit straight off, okay? Yes, unconsciously, but it can also be done consciously. Just be aware. Okay, so the daughter picks up on him and like reads him like a book, all right? And if that is true, and I've heard her talk in interviews and whatnot, and she basically said she didn't like him the second she laid eyes on him. And I've been in situations like that too, where I just knew the second I looked at someone, that person was toxic AF, and I did not want that person anywhere near my life. But then people like that can be so charming that other people may not pick up on it. What was happening there with the daughter, that daughter is fully aware of her instincts and is able to pick up on that stuff for loved ones. Now, can she do it for herself? Sometimes it's harder to do for yourself. Like if you're the one being targeted, it's harder to see, right? But man, I hope and I pray that her instincts kick in that hard for herself. and that she listens to them. And as I said in the last stream, do not second guess. Do not second guess your instincts. Your instincts are there for a reason. They were honed over millennia by your ancestors, and they're a gift. Use them. Because humans are the apex predator on this planet. And really, at this point, predatory humans are a lot of the time predatory toward other humans. So, just saying. Hey Vlad, how you doing? What's up? Okay, I have one more thing to do, and then I can turn the camera on. It's really weird not having the camera on right now. And I don't know what happens to the picture that's normally there. So, okay, so this daughter is a goddess in and of her own right, right? She's on it. She gets it. She sees him. She knows exactly what's going on. She tries to warn her mother, but her mother doesn't listen. Now, that's a hard situation to be in. As a mother, as a child, and you just want your mother safe, right? And the mother just wants her, she wants to have a partner, a life partner, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But you have to pay attention to those gut instincts, and sometimes the one who is the most fun to hang out with and go on dates with and all of that is not the best one to be around at all. So, okay. When he first enters the house, he's looking around. He's looking at things. He's touching things. What he's doing, and the actor did a really good job of portraying this, is he's casing the joint. What does that mean? And the daughter says it perfectly. The guy had dollar signs in his eyes. Yep, that is true. The actor who played Scumbag did a really good job of portraying that. The subtleties of the body language and facial expressions that were going on. Kind of scary. I wonder what that dude did in his past, pre-acting life. Just, ugh. All right. The guy's attractive, but I would be hesitant to date him after seeing how good a job he did playing this guy. Just saying. Okay. Okay, so when he enters her room, her bedroom, after that first date, and she expresses that she's not happy with him being in there, he doesn't have the normal response to a situation like that, which would be, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to invade your space. Let me get up and get out. Let's go in the living room. Let's, chill and talk. And I misunderstood, whatever. No, there was none of that. There was instead, he was hesitating and he was irritated. And he was hoping that he could just lay there and she would change her mind, which obviously she wasn't going to do. So what's happening there is a boundary and limitation crossing. So if you're dating someone and they do something like that, that is a huge crossing of boundaries. That's not a little thing. Entering into a space like that without your permission, even if you're the chillest of chill people, it's still not cool. Here's why. With certain toxic people, if you give them an inch, I've said this before, if you give them an inch, they will take an entire football field and then the entire city after that. He's got no class either. Yes, no. No, indeed. No, not at all. So, instead of immediately being respectful of her boundaries and being aware that even is a boundary and why, he can't keep the mask up. If you watch that, the whole sequence of scenes right there, it's well done. Because she offers for him to go out in the living room or whatever and talk. She does, however, say, let's just, end this for the night, right? And so he gets up. He acts kind of like a petulant child. He does the quiet thing, right? And he gets up and he leaves. He just walks out the door. No goodbye, no, nothing. He just leaves. That right there, if something like that happens to you, and I don't care what kind of situation it is, if it's a date, if it is a coworker, if it is a so-called friend, whatever, once they leave, block and delete them on everything, because they crossed a boundary, but then they're going to try to turn and flip that on you like you were being unreasonable. When in reality, you were not being unreasonable. As a grown sentient human being, you have every right to lay down a boundary and limitation and have that respected. And if it isn't, then they just need to get walking. Bye, Felicia. You don't have to put up with that kind of behavior, especially in your own home. It doesn't even really matter if it's in your own home, wherever you are, right? Okay. So that was a kind of a big thing when his mask slipped right there. And sometimes with toxic people, you'll see that mask slip for just a little bit. It gives you a glimpse, a glimmer of what is in store later. Once they feel comfortable, how are they going to behave later? Okay. So apparently the mom and the daughter were going to therapy together, which is a good thing. But it kind of seemed like they were talking at each other and not with each other, unfortunately, because that daughter was laying down some wisdom. So was the mom, but the mom wasn't really getting what her daughter was saying and why. So here's another point, and it's something that me and several of my friends actually came to understand and made a deal with each other. So let's say you have a friend, family member, whatever, who is out there dating. Talk about this with your loved ones and tell them, look, if you're dating someone and I get a bad vibe from them, I need you to listen to me when I say this one's no good. And here's why. You can even set up a code word, right? Because toxic people can be really good at misdirecting the targeted victim from seeing what's actually going on, but they may not be able to do that with friends or family, as with Scumbag. He wasn't able to keep up, and he didn't even try, actually, to keep up his mask with the goddess's loved ones. Because he actually didn't care about them, like at all, in the least. Okay. That is bright light. And I had to fix the camera. This camera slides. It's weird. All right. Okay. So After that first date, he calls to suck up to her. He realizes his mask slipped and he might have lost his opportunity with the goddess. And that is the thing he doesn't want to have happen because he wants all of her resources. She's got money, she's got a nice place to live, she's got a nice car, and he wants access to all of that, okay? So in there you're going to see, like if you watch this, you'll see love bombing, a little bit more data mining. There's lots of data mining going on, by the way. He lightly Darvos her. I'm not even kidding. If you watch this episode and if you look at the part where he calls her after he'd walked out and all that and, acted like a toddler, he's lightly Darvoing her, trying to make himself out to be the sympathetic person in the situation when really he was a dick. He was a douche. He was a douche canoe. All right. He invaded her space. He invaded her privacy. He was extremely rude and he should have left. She should have never spoke to him again, ever. But it's very light. It's very subtle. Darvo is not always hard, harsh, like in your face, full on, aggressive. It can be very subtle, and that's part of the reason I'm talking about this series right now, because there's a lot of subtlety in the Netflix series, and it can be that way. These lights are driving me insane. Okay, so, and the actor was very subtle in this, and he had to have done some research on this to play this part the way he did. It was actually kind of impressive. Me and a bunch of my ex-coworkers have scrutinized this series because it's just so interesting. So he goes out of his way to exploit her sympathies. He has already data mined her by this point. Okay, so he's going for every possible sympathy ploy he can do, and at the same time, he's love bombing her. All right, because he wants and needs to move as fast as humanly possible in this relationship. He needs this relationship to get to a point where he has access to her finances. Her daughter was on it, okay? And understood that he was in fact a gold digger, but worse, like way worse. Yeah, see, if I used KDD, nobody would know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the daughter, I really wish that she had been listened to more. I also really wish that she would go into like therapy, counseling, something like that, because she like instinctively gets it with these kinds of behaviors from all the interviews and stuff that I've seen her do. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so later on, once they've dated more, whatnot, there's all kinds of weird behavior. If you watch this episode, I could sit here for like 4 streams, 3 hours long each, talking about all the weird subtlety of his behavior, from interviews, from the Dirty John podcast, which is really good, by the way, and also the Netflix series. He was a lot. He should be a case study, actually. Okay. So the daughter is in this room looking in a safe for something. And he comes up behind her and he says something about, "What's in the safe, sweetie?" And she just like, closes it and is like, eh. That scene is so good because to the average person who's watching this or just listening to it, they're not going to pick up on the actual creep factor. Like, you have to pay attention to the look in his eyes, the tone of his voice, the body language, just everything. That actor is phenomenal. Hey, Hatter, how you doing? Okay, so understand, we're talking about the first 5 weeks of these people meeting each other. 5 weeks. 5. Okay? We're not even at week 5 yet, okay? We're, like, probably at week maybe 3. So he starts learning about her past trauma. That only gives him ammunition and tells him how far he can push her potentially before she'll say no mas. It also can tell him the different things he can do, right? And maybe get away with. Hey, allegedly, how you doing? Sidebar. Please, for the love of everything holy, if you are dating someone and if you have past trauma, and this is not victim blaming, this is just armor for you, okay? If you have past trauma, do not tell a person that you are newly dating, you only just met, you just met them, okay? Don't tell them about your past trauma until you've known them for a good 6 months, maybe even a year. Just, it's not their business, all right? Because certain types of toxic people can really mask that shit over really, really well. And also consider, how do you know this person? Is it long distance? Is it you see them maybe once or twice a week or a month? Do you know what I mean? Like, keep that, unless you're like a public speaker or something, keep those cards kind of close to your chest, because some toxic people will try to use that against you. And we have seen that recently where that was happening. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Love bombing only used on the people around the victim so they have no one to believe them if they go for help? No, love bombing can be used on the targeted victim and also on the family and friends around the victim. Yeah, that's all of these things are part of grooming, okay? And anyone can be groomed. So it can be the targeted victim and also family, friends, parents, coworkers, etc. So grooming, which is a combination of love bombing, data mining, etc. So on and so forth. It's a huge red flag. So definitely watch out for that. Yes. Wait. That is such a good website. I can't even tell you. Okay. So he comes up with this story of how he has tax issues, and there's like, I do believe there was even like a problem with his bank or something, and that he was worked with Doctors Without Borders, and when he came back, I think somebody had stolen a bunch of his property, like vehicle and whatnot, all this stuff. There's all these reasons for why he was broke as a spoke and needed her to pay for everything. One thing to consider is that certain types of people, right, they may go so far as to find documents online of somebody else's tax return, etc., with a similar name, bank statements, bills, all kind of shit, and try to pass all of that material off as their own. And this is all a sympathy ploy. This is all a means of getting the targeted victim to feel bad for them. This guy was a con artist. And he was like, I could sit here for like 10 hours talking about all the con shit that he did. Just that alone is a lot, okay? Oh, well, thank you. I'm trying, but it's a lot. This guy is a gold mine of toxicity. Okay. So, if you don't know any of the background of this case, you're going to be stunned in a minute. So, gird your loins and prepare thyself, okay? Yes, he had children, but they were with their mother, and he was not renowned for helping take care of his children or for paying child support. Um, these things were all useful tools to get her to open up the coffers, to open up the doors to the bank. That's what he wanted. That she, this woman, okay, look, gorgeous, smart, articulate, uh, business, like so much going for her, right? That's why I'm calling her the goddess because she is, yes, in fact, a goddess. Um, but all he can see is the potential for him to make money. Let that sink in for a minute. Um, she gets a place and they move in together, basically. She doesn't, I don't think she realizes this, but basically what he does is he moves in what few possessions he has into her place, is what happens. She doesn't know this, but that is what happens. And that happens around week 5. She buys a place. She buys a place on the beach in LA. Week 5. Originally, she was living with her daughter. I think they had like a condo or something, or rented an apartment. Nice apartment, by the way. Um, yeah. So in about 5 weeks, he got her to not trust her daughter, move in with him after buying a place for them to move into, uh, and be even less trusting of her daughter. Okay. What do a lot of toxic people love to do? We've talked about this before. Now, it depends on the person, the toxic person, right? Not all toxic people will do this, but many people do. So it's a stereotype for a reason, right? Okay. A lot of toxic people, a lot of toxic, abusive people love to isolate their targeted victim, especially someone like this Dirty John guy, the scumbag. He wants all that money, Lebowski. He's all about that money. He can't see this amazing woman that he's like, he has reached up like somewhere near Mars or something. Like, he can't even see that. All he can see is the money, and that's it. Um, because that is ultimately the only thing he really values. So, this is why I say, if at all possible, if you are online dating, whatever, don't care. Try to find a way to do a background check on that person if you feel like you might be getting serious with them. I'm saying this for a reason. It does not hurt. It isn't going to hurt you. If anything, it can help you uh, more than you realize. Because this guy had been in prison and he was homeless. He got out and he was, he'd been in prison. And I'm going to get into the criminal charges and all that stuff in another stream. But he did not tell her that. He was not forthcoming with any of this information. There's a lot he didn't tell her. We'll get there. I'm only bringing this up right now for a reason. There is nothing wrong with someone, especially if your instincts have been triggered. you're getting those red flags, those warning signs from your instincts, listen to them. If you really feel like you might be getting serious about someone, do a background check. For your own safety, your life is worth more than worrying about offending someone. Because if they really are into you and they really are a good, kind-hearted person, they're not going to be bothered by you doing a background check just to make sure. I'm just saying. You can't get a woman just to meet me for coffee in a public place? What? That's weird. Okay. All right. I have way more notes, but right now I really want to talk about this whole mirroring thing because I think it's important and most people don't really understand. That can make you feel, and you may not even, it can be so subtle that you may not even realize at the time that, the fuck? Hold on one second, y'all. You may not even realize at the time that you are dealing with someone who may not even have a personality, a real personality of their own. Because sometimes people who do this mirroring thing, they don't actually have very much of like their own sense of self, right? So their own sense of goals, life dreams, hopes and desires, any of that. They may have some, like he had some, her money and drugs and conning people. Those were his, okay? But I'm talking about things of substance that are going to improve on their lives for real, right? Yes, that is true. That is true. Observe? What is that? I may have to check that out. I'm actually thinking about going back to college for a couple different degrees. I'm considering it. It's like, how much student loan debt do I want to have? That is the question. But all right, so now you could be actually like a good match for this person, right? That could be how they actually are. Here's the thing. Meet their friends and their family. This guy, scumbag, it seems to me from everything that I've seen with interviews, with the podcast, with the TV series, etc., he didn't have any real friends and he barely had any family for her to meet, to vet him. And you know what? There is nothing wrong with you vetting someone that you're getting into a relationship with, especially if you think it's going to be really serious. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Especially if you have children, you better. So if you are dating someone and you ask them, you say, hey, I want to meet your friends and your family, da da da, because you reach that point. If they try to guilt you out of wanting to do that, there could be a reason for that. Maybe their friends and their family aren't the best of people. Usually that's going to be like family, right? Or it could be they have none, and they have none for a reason. Toxic people usually can't keep people around for very long, right? So this guy had like some college friends. But okay, so let's say I started dating someone tomorrow and things are going really well. And after like a week or two, they're like, hey, can I meet like some of your friends, whatever? I have like 20 people I could call just in the city of New Orleans who I've been friends with for God knows how long. Like over 20 years maybe. Some of them, maybe 5 years. But I'm just saying most people have like that group of people, maybe more than one, who they know you, right? Well, this guy had none of that. So how is she supposed to know who she's actually dealing with outside of the dynamic where they're interacting, him and her? Especially when he is, uh, well, we'll get there. Hold on. Well, fuck it. I'll just say it now. You know, he was purposefully excluding her family for a reason. Hey, Snoop, how you doing? Okay. So there is nothing wrong with you doing a background check, and I highly recommend it because you never know. Um, I highly recommend listening to your instincts. Try to meet the person in public. If you can, try to take an Uber there and back. I even have one girlfriend who will take an Uber from the location she's at the date with to another location, hang there for a bit, then get another Uber and go elsewhere because she doesn't want to be followed. It's pretty smart. Um, listen to your gut instincts. I'm going to keep on saying that. Listen to them. Pay attention. If you have a response that's like, I think this is it. I'm not going to date this person any further. Run with that. Go with that. Take that and run. Okay. What if your family all knew you? Well, that's a. You're still probably going to have some friends that you're in contact with, I would think. It's pretty weird for a person to have no contacts. Like when I moved from Flint to Miami, I still had all my friends in, Flint. I mean, it wasn't as easy as it is now to keep in contact, but I could still call my friends up, right? And, same with anywhere I've lived. My old friends are still around, right? I mean, it just, especially now with Facebook and all that, it's even easier to keep in contact. Yes, that's a good idea. Yeah, what people are like, what do they call it? Dropping a ping now to a friend so they know where they're located, like on the map or whatever. I have a group of girlfriends who like it's like a Facebook group and they have like some app or something. I don't know the name of it. Hold on, I think I have it. Give me 1 second. What is that app? Life 360, I think is the name of it. Where you can have like your friend group on there and they can drop a ping so that everybody knows exactly where you are, right? And that is, I think, a really good idea, especially if you're going on a date with someone you don't know. Um, that is true. The chat just jumped on me. Sorry, y'all. Okay, hey, Violet Witch. What's up? Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I get what you're saying. But even still, there's still people that can vet you, right? There's still people who can say, yeah, he's a goofball, but he's a harmless goofball, right? This guy didn't have any of that. He had, I think, if I remember correctly, like 5 or 6 friends from college who really didn't know him all that well. Like That's sketch, man. That is really sketch. Yes, guinea pigs. All right, so here in a minute. Yeah, we have that for, like, family and friends for that reason. Like, I have girlfriends who'll be like, "Boop, I'm going on a date. No, I haven't done the background check yet." 'Cause I'm always like, "You never fucking know, dude." Um, yeah. Okay, so I have news. I have good news. Well, well, there's good news and then there's fun news. Okay. So the grandbebe is all healthy, all the internal organs, all that good stuff is doing good. Um, safely. I haven't heard of that one. Let me put that up there. Safely. And then there's this one. Thank y'all for putting that up there. Um, it won't let me. Can you put both of these in the Discord so I can actually put the links to these in the description? Cthulhu book readings. Was supposed to be working on that this weekend, and things happened. Like, for example, found out the gender of my grandbebe, the grandbaby. The grandbaby, as of now, is apparently a boy, which is weird because we don't have many boys in my family. It's mostly girls. Yep. So yeah, there was that. um, so my oldest was over this weekend, and it was a wonderful weekend. Where? I swear I saw. Let me put this in the. Okay, so here's an old message that I forgot to enter. Hold on, I'm trying to. I want to put these in the description before we forget, because I will forget. Do-do-do. Yeah, tattoos to me, I'm just saying, I don't judge people by tattoos. Unless there's certain, like gang or what have you tattoos. That's a whole different subject, though. Wow, you really got some creepy stuff going on in your backyard there. I'm just gonna call it and say that's time for a security cam or two. That is creepy. Yeah, grandbaby boy. As of now. Yep. Oh shit. Security cams, man. Security cams. That makes me uncomfortable. Like if it's an ex. Mm. And motion lights, yeah. Yes, indeed. Motion lights, trim down your shrubs around your house. Um, you have security cams, just don't know how to hook it up. I would say just get like a ring light that you can install right quick, and it just hooks up wirelessly. Um, and you should be able to look up the model of the security cam online and see how to hook it up. They should have like user manuals for that. Um, that is really creepy because if he's getting that close to your backyard and throwing things around and effectively having a tantrum in your backyard at night while y'all are sleeping, that is dangerous. If it escalates beyond that, also, you might wanna check your windows and your doors, see if anyone's tried to, defeat your windows and doors, like the locks and whatnot. There's a button I cannot push on my mouse. Okay. Yes, there are lots of how-tos on there. I don't remember where you are. I could hook up a security camera practically with one hand tied behind my back. It's part of what we used to do in my, security company, and I love doing that too. And, like, old school security cams, I love those. Love them, but those wires can be cut. So, that's why I say Ring cam, something like that. Especially if you can get something that's like a spy cam, they can't see it. Like, you want something that they can see that there is a camera there, right? Like, you want them to know that you have security, but I love spy cams because they might defeat the cameras they can see, but they're not gonna defeat those spy cams that are hooked up wirelessly, mm, especially if they don't know they're there. Um, I have respect across forehead and pure love on my eyelids. Oh Lord. Ow. And names Thor and Odin on sideburns. Right, right, right. Yes, a lot of people in the indigenous community are starting to do traditional face tattoos. It's kind of good to see that coming back. So, no, that was me. I pushed a button that I didn't even know did anything. So I'm sorry. That was totally me. I have a deadbolt on my door. He has tried to loosen the doorknob, so I tighten it up. Do you, by any chance, have a stay away order against this guy? Also, if your neighbors have security cams, ask them to look and see what they caught on their cameras. They might catch something. Like in my neighborhood, shit, dude, there are cameras all over the place around here, okay? I have neighbors who have cameras in their backyards. So, um, no, okay. No stay away order. Man, you really seriously need to get those cameras up and running. Have the backup wireless camera. Your neighbor does have a motion camera. Reach out and ask your neighbor. They might have already picked him up on camera. And especially, if I remember correctly, you live in the country. Man, people don't like people going on their property in the country. Like, I can't speak for anywhere else, but in Michigan, if you go out on somebody's property in the country in Michigan, chances are you might get shot. For real. Like, no joke. People in Michigan are crazy. Um, traditional face or indigenous women's faces are beautiful. Yes. Yeah. The tattoos are amazing. I was thinking like, man, if once I hit like 70 or something, I'm gonna look into traditional, if there are any traditional Cherokee face tattoos or whatever, or I'm Cherokee Scots Irish, so I could maybe do a collage of my ancestry. That right there. Yes, indeed. You live in a city. Okay. Right. Well, even in a city, people can be touchy. You know what I mean? So ask your neighbors. You never know. And it would be a good idea to try, as long as your neighbors are sane, um, try to get to know your neighbors, especially the neighbors with cameras. Seriously. Good idea. Um, like within the first month of living where I live, I had already been talking with a bunch of my neighbors. Safety in numbers. It's hard to catch my neighbor. He takes care of his wife. Has MD. Right on. Right on. I mean, if it's down to an issue of safety, though, I'm sure your neighbor will not mind you just, can I talk with you for 5 minutes about, this? Hey, Kitty, how you doing? Try calling a security company to have a system in your house. Some will install the equipment for free. That is true. Monthly service fee is pretty much covered by the savings on the camera owner's insurance or on the homeowner's insurance. Or if you live in the city, are you renting? Because if you're renting, there is a thing called renter's insurance. Not a bad idea. Um, yeah. Also, be advised that you want to pay attention to how people gain access to your security system, your camera system, and make sure that only you can look into those cameras. Um, we own a house. Yeah, yeah, right on. Right on. Okay, we're just over an hour. Um, Today is Sunday, right? I lost track of my days. Yeah. Okay, so as you all know, I usually take Monday and Tuesday off. So during that time, I will be writing up more notes. I'm going to end up with a mountain of notes on this subject. It is food time. I'm not going to make anything more for dinner. We have leftovers. We have so many leftovers. We have spaghetti. We have really, really good rice. Oh Lord, I don't even know what all. Yeah, I'm gonna go raid the fridge and forage. Oh, right, right. Yes, dogs are a good deterrent, though. Um, yeah, I didn't. It's all the same thing. It's either night or day. There you go. I mean, yeah, and half the time I don't. I'm like, whatever, dude. Until look, October is a whole different subject. I want my Halloween time. But as Ministry once said, every day is Halloween. Um, Food. Yes. Ask the neighbor for footage. Ask them to keep an eye out. Because that footage could easily lead to a stay away order against your ex, potentially, depending on your jurisdiction. Potato soup with some melted white cheddar. Oh, and fresh bacon. I hate you low key right now. Sounds so good. Potato soup is so good. And it's just how it's made in Michigan is just, yes, so good. Shake and bake turkey wings. Huh. I haven't even heard of that in a long time. I didn't know if that was still a thing. Um, you've known your neighbor for over 20 years. Yeah, well, I mean, if you've known your neighbor that long, they shouldn't have any problem with you being like, hey, there's a problem. because they're not going to want that shit in their backyard or in their, you know, around their house, right? So, and don't even bring up that it might be an ex. It's just there's someone going in your backyard, messing around, trying to break in doors and whatnot, and you're worried. Floodlights, yeah, true, true. Just make sure you position them so that they don't bother your neighbors. Because I had a neighbor who had floodlights that went right directly into the bedroom, and I was like, "Look, we have to talk, or that light is gonna go." It was just canned, but the cheddar and bacon made it perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get you. Sometimes that canned potato soup is really good. Now you're making me crave potato soup. Shit. I have so many leftovers though. 135-pound. Oh, na- named Lunchbox. Yes, indeed. Um, like we had thought about getting a dog, but we need a bigger place. This house is just built weird and shaped weird. And, I don't know. I'd rather have like our own house that we own if we have a dog. Um, but yeah, I want a dog that we can train to be like guard dog, guard the babies, guard the kids. Um, yes. I usually make my own potato soup, but I was lazy. It's okay to be lazy. It's okay, especially like me. When I cook enough to feed a damn army, okay? Thankfully, that worked out good this weekend because, it was me, Marcus, baby girl, well, both baby girls. Um, and my oldest is, wow, I'm proud of her. She's eating good, man. Um, um, the commercial for Shake and Bake is from my day. Was a little girl with a strong Southern accent, and I helped, but it came out, and I helped. Yeah, yeah, I get you. Yeah, potato soup is, man, I might have to make some of that this week. But I make it at this point more like Nolan style, if that makes sense. They have this uh like prepared vegetable mix. I forget the name of it now, but it's onion, all that stuff already like diced right in a container like this. Makes everything better. Just makes everything better. That and like fresh garlic and all that. So good. And then I usually end up putting like 3 different kinds of cheese on there. You gotta have the bacon. I don't wanna think of life without bacon, actually. Um, yeah. And then you gotta have some yummy French bread of some kind, right? Have to. But what's also good with potato soup is naan. So yummy. Naan is good with everything now. Naan or fry bread. Okay. All right, yeah. So I'm in TikTok jail um for telling someone off in a really creative way, and I was actually really nice about it. But of course, I am still on there, and I do have a backup account. Um, yeah, fry bread. God, I miss fry bread. I miss fry bread so much that I cannot even tell you. TikTok jail. Yes, TikTok jail. I was reported for bullying and harassment from someone who was bullying and harassing me. But they messed up and they also did it in DMs, so I reported all of that, like their account, right? So I do not like turfs. Yes, indeed. So yeah, okay. Remember, you have the right to say no. Your no should be respected, especially if it's like your bedroom and your bed and some person just jumps in your bed. Ugh. They TikTok Darvo you. Kind of. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. And man, the one video that was reported for community guideline strikes was beautiful. It was epic. I told that person off, no cuss words, no nothing, just words they apparently could not understand. Um, the backup account is Words Have Power 2.0, I think. Hold on, let me check right quick. Yep, Words Have Power 2.0. Wow, Jesus. I mean, I haven't even posted anything in a couple of days, and I have a good following over there. I might see if I can go live on TikTok after this for a minute. Just more of like a goofing off type thing. I make my own bread. I wish I knew how to make bread. Look, kind of jealous. I'm kind of jealous. I don't know. I can make beer bread. I can make a mean beer bread. But this stove, for some reason, this stove does not cook beer bread as well. And that irritates me. But yeah, once winter rolls around, y'all might be seeing me sitting here eating me some beer bread. Because we have all these like flavored beers in the kitchen right now. And I'm like, that is going to be bread. Yes, we have merch. Fried bread with cinnamon and sugar. Ah, I haven't had fried bread in so long. Last time I tried to make it, it did not turn out right. Even remotely. It was just not right. All right, y'all. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. Remember, somebody's matching your energy. Maybe they are on the same wavelength and maybe they're not. Look out for those red flags. All right, y'all. I'll see you Wednesday. I will have a mountain of notes. We're going to have to put a strict time limit on the stream because I can rattle off for days about this stuff. So I'm going to have to watch it. So, okay. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Bye. I love you. Have a good night, weekend, all that good stuff. Bye. Yes, this right here. Wait. That. Stay safe, hydrated, positive thoughts, positive life. You have worth and you are valued. Yes, indeed. Bye.